A lot of people ask about how project-based learning works with students who have special needs. Can they really do projects? The answer is yes, absolutely. And I'd like to tell you a story about a student that I had named Ben. Ben was in 9th grade and had severe autism, and every day he would come into class, take a computer, and basically refuse to do everything else we were doing. It was very difficult to know how to engage him. We were doing a project called Project Aviel, and it was about a young girl who was killed in one of the school shootings in the United States. We had a special connection to Aviel's family, so we started the project by Skyping with her father and learning everything we could about this 5-year-old girl. We decided that we would design a park to honor her life and also to create a space for people to gather and have connection. In my humanities class, students read about and debated gun violence. They learned about psychology and why people commit these horrible acts of hate. In science, the students went to different playgrounds around San Diego and tried out playground equipment. They learned the physics behind their favorite rides, and in art and design, they created new pieces themselves. Eventually, students divided into groups and started developing a park of their own. One group created a budget, one created a park design, one group was fundraising, and another was contacting contractors for bids to get the park built. Ben was still coming into class every day, finding his computer, and was still very hard to engage. So we asked ourselves 3 questions. What is Ben good at? What does Ben like to do? And how can we find Ben into this project? Now, Ben was obsessed with black holes and other aspects of science, but this didn't help us so much in designing a park. We knew he was really good at math and reading, and he was the student that when anything was misspelled on the board, he would raise his hand and say, "Miss, that's not right." As the project continued, I realized that many groups were sending emails and contacting real companies and real people, and their emails contained all kinds of spelling and grammatical errors. I didn't have nearly enough time to proofread everything. So why not Ben? We gave Ben the special task of becoming our resident editor. Every time a group needed to send an email out, they first needed to send it to Ben. Ben would fill out a form that outlined any errors in the email, and he would walk over to the group with his computer and tell them what needed to be changed. Both groups would need to sign a piece of paper, and when it was done, the email could be sent. I really didn't know if it would work, but it was worth a try. One day at the end of work time, we held a round of appreciations where students publicly appreciate classmates on the work that they do and if they helped each other. One student raised her hand and said, "I'd like to appreciate Ben. I had an email that needed to be fixed and he helped me." I looked over at Ben. His head was looking up from his computer, and maybe for the first time that year, he was smiling. Now, Ben still needed some help to complete assignments in the project, but he would have needed that in a traditional classroom too. Project-based learning gave Ben the opportunity to work on some of the skills that he needed in an authentic and real way. Project-based learning gave Ben the chance to be a part of a team, to have his skills be needed, to have him be needed. And that's something I don't think ever would have happened in a traditional class. Imagine if that's what the experience of inclusion was, and imagine if all kids had the opportunity to be needed.